The secret sauce of this work is what I would call transmission. Transmission is a subtle event where the radiant, embodied and awakened condition of the teacher gets communicated non-verbally.
I see transmission as a universal thing that everyone's doing all the time. Even other sentient beings are transmitting certain states and traits of consciousness. What I think is unique in our work is that teachers in this work are transmitting certain qualities of awakening and the divine. And when that happens, there can be a sort of resonance that happens with practitioners, other teachers, other collections of individuals. And that actually creates a sort of almost like a transmission field during sittings, during retreats, or what have you. It's almost like something else that's very much like transpersonal gets constellated in that field. And it feels almost like we're all participating in something much bigger than ourselves, which I think is the phenomenological experience of some of this attuning to these states and traits.
One way to think of transmission is like two tuning forks. So if you ring one tuning fork, it'll activate another hum in the other tuning fork, or like a string on the guitar, you pluck one and the other one's kind of hum. Part of my transmission as a teacher is the way that I'm relaxed at my core in my whole being realization. So some aspects of my whole being realization are coming through to your organism, mostly probably unconsciously, but sometimes people really feel transmission. You can get activated, you can feel energy, or some people see colors, and it gets a little psychedelic for some people when they experience that transmission. But it's not necessary. You don't have to be aware of or feel anything in particular.
The thing is, we're both this individuated, local, separate self, and we're also the divine unity, and the divine self, the transcendental. And they're actually married together, and that's what's discovered in whole being realization. We already are that, and in transmission, I'm resting and abiding in that, what we already are, both of us, and amplifying, intensifying, magnifying. So then the student's process gets activated and initiated, and it's in like a catalyst that accelerates the awakening process.
Transmission doesn't have to, be person to person through gazing. It can be from reading a book. People might pick up Samuel's book or C.C. Lee's Becoming Divinely Human book, and just from reading it, the transmission of the truth will activate or create shifts, because we'll pick up that transmission in whatever way we can, and it can come off the page, off a video, from gazing. It doesn't have to be in person for it to be catalytic.
Gazing is where we meet each other's eyes for 30 seconds or a minute. It's just a way to connect. It's a type of communion. Nobody's trying to do anything or change anything or send mental questions or ideas or any of that. It's just being together in a simple way of, with the eyes meeting. I've had my first experience with gazing in my theater class when I was in college. It was a way of centering you and connecting with your partner in a improvisation or something. We used to gaze to connect. And so I didn't know then that it was a spiritual practice, which has been used to catalyze, move us from our head to our heart. And so we found that this is a very juicy practice in that it helps to open the heart. It's like meditation. Different experiences can come in gazing. You can feel very connected on the impersonal level, and other times lots of thoughts and more see the person as a person, the individuality of that person, and going from one to the other, you have the continuity of that impersonal being that's there shining through those eyes. And at the same time, you have the unique individual aspects of that person you're gazing with. Yeah, it's to me, it's a communion. That's what it is.
The gazing is really an opportunity to meet each other as fully as we're able in a moment, without words. It's a handshake on the level of being. It's a hello on the level of being. A willingness to sit in the presence with another person. No right or wrong. Whatever arises is fine. I noticed that when I first started gazing, my mind was extremely busy. And I realized that part of the busyness of my mind was because I felt a bit anxious and a little too vulnerable, just looking into someone's eyes for a whole minute. So just self-regulate, notice what comes up for you and what when you're doing this, and no right, no wrong, just an opportunity to be with another person.